Social data naman.
Okay mo ba? Nakapagod naman sa school today.
Bakit? May nangyari ba?
Never mind.
What's wrong with all of you? Ano ba talagang nangyari kanina sa school?
Abi,
Pagawas sa subways na kay Rubori kaya ang nasa sa pwede.
Oh, andito na pala kayo? Where's Ayana?
Di ko alam, pinatawag kasi siya kanina sa POD.
siguro may ginawa naman yun.
Hi nako, you know Ayana, that's normal for her.
Oh, I think she's here already.
별빛이 내린다.
Social data naman.
Okay mo ba? Nakapagod naman sa school today.
Bakit? May nangyari ba?
Never mind.
What's wrong with all of you? Ano ba talagang nangyari kanina sa school?
Abi,
Pagawas sa subways na kay Rubori kaya ang nasa sa pwede.
Teka, sandali lang, isa-isa lang.
Well, my teacher notices me using my phone while she's lecturing. I mean, her lesson is not that interesting, so I'm just using my phone. And if she catches me, I just roll my eyes. I mean, my feelings are valid and I can do whatever I want, right?
I am very disappointed about my grades. I expect to get into the honor list but I failed in one subject. Imagine I got 90 plus on all subject but got only 2 in one. That's ridiculous.
When the basketball varsity team were choosing for players, I joined the tryouts and I gave my best, but I didn't pass the tryouts yet my friend did. I work harder than him. Why?
I have a solution to that. I watched a video on YouTube and I want us to watch it together. Come on, look at this. Waves of Emotions. Good day, everyone. I am Elisha Facinco, and together with my group mates, we are going to discuss today what are negative emotions, what are its examples, and what are the suggestions to overcome it. But before that, let us first know what is an emotion. Emotion. It is a state of feeling and is very crucial for us human beings. Do you laugh? Or do you cry? Do you shout or do you hide? You don't? Well, I guess you're some kind of a robot. Kidding aside, there are two types of emotions: the positive emotions and the negative emotions. A positive emotion simply means feeling good, feeling happy, or feeling excited. On the other hand, a negative emotion simply means feeling bad, just like a battery, a positive side and a negative side. But before we elaborate more on negative emotions, let's have an icebreaker first. Let's see how good are you in identifying your emotion. If your answer is joy, then you're correct. You're right, it's sadness. Anger is correct. If your answer is fear, then you're correct. Say hi to disgust. And finally, anxiety. And that was it for our little game. Let us now proceed into discussing what are negative emotions, its examples, and suggestions on how to overcome it. An example of a negative emotion is disappointment.
When we say disappointment is a heavy sigh of unmet expectation. Isang anino na ibubuhos ng agwat sa pagitan ng inaasahan natin at matingkad na katotohanan sa harap natin. It's the bitter taste of dream deferred, leaving our lingering sadness that colors our perception of the present moment.
An example of this is
Sadness. So when we say sadness, it's like a heavy rain cloud casting shadows over your emotion.
here are some suggestions to overcome disappointments.
Embracing our disappointment can help us to develop if you encounter again a disappointment and embrace it as a stepping stone in your own journey. Allow it to fuel your determination, ignite your creativity, and inspire you to reach higher than before. Amplify disappointment, crack expectations like stepping stones grounding in reality. Reframe goals to be both challenging and achievable, unlocking a path to fulfillment. Practicing self-compassion, self-care, and disappointment maze. Self-compassion is our guiding light. Navigate with kindness and understanding, letting self-care bridge the gap between expectation and reality.
Another example of a negative emotion is envy.
The report addresses the negative effects of envy and resentment on Sarah's job satisfaction and working relationship with her colleague. Envy. Envy, a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or lack. Envy versus jealousy.
Envy and jealousy are two different emotions.
Envy, a feeling that occurs when you don't have something that another person has. Jealousy, a feeling that has something to do with what you have, a thing or attribute being threatened by a third party.
Meanwhile, here are the suggestions on how to handle envy. Practice gratitude.
Practicing gratitude lead to a decrease in materialism and envy. As grateful people are more willing to part with possessions, generous, and less committed to the idea that material wealth equals success and happiness. Self-compassion. Self-compassion is the kind practice of being kind and understanding towards oneself during moments of struggle, of suffering without comparing or judging one's experiences. Celebrating the success of others involves genuinely rejoicing in their good fortune, realizing that joy is not limited in embracing happiness in other success as a way to overcome envy.
And last but definitely not the least, our final example of a negative emotion is contempt.
Contempt is a strong feeling of lack of respect for someone or something. So here in contempt, nakaka-feel ka ng contempt because you think they are unworthy in your eyes. Mababa yung tingin nila sa iba. So isang contempt sa napakadelikadong emosyon na mararamdaman ng isang tao kasi it can judge someone regarding as inferior to oneself. So, we have a scenario here. So, in this scenario, pinapa-feel ni Alex sa kanyang teacher na wala silang pakialam sa kanya kahit na nagtuturo siya. So, the disrespect is here, knowing na nagtuturo yung guru nila, but Alex just ignore it and proceed to do something instead of listening. So, I'll give you a suggestion on how to manage contempt. So, first is communicate effectively. Voice your needs in a gentle way. Pwede mo gamitin yung you and I method instead of saying you never listen to me, try to be more gentle. So say, I feel like my opinions aren't being heard. Para yung sitwasyon nyo, relax lang, there's no need to be aggressive. Para hindi maging critical o mas lumala pa yung sitwasyon nyo. Second is practice forgiveness. Try to forgive the other person for your action just to go to a positive way. So, kasi kapag nagpipigil ka ng sama ng loob, pwede siyang humantong sa mas malalang sitwasyon pa. So, practice forgiveness. Isa yan sa mga maraming dahilan para makontrol natin yung nararamdaman natin, which is the contempt. Lastly is practice conflict resolution. So, in contempt kasi, madalas na result dito ay hindi pagkakaintindihan. So, try to be gentle at dapat kalmado ka para mas malabas mo ng mas maayos yung opinions mo about other things. Kasi diba, we really need to embrace it kasi this emotion is hard to handle. So, kasi diba, recognizing emotion is the first in understanding them. So, kailangan natin itong intindihin para mas malinawan tayo sa kung ano pang pwede natin gawin.
And there you have it, our 3 examples of negative emotions. Watching this video is realizing that not all emotions are easy to handle. Some can be a baggage, but some can be a blessing in disguise. Emotions are truly a part of us being us. So before we end our video, we want to leave you a point to ponder. Thank you for watching our video, and always remember that a happy life is not free of suffering. All our emotions, whether positive or negative, should always be balanced for us to become a better individual in this community.
negative emotions?
Yep, I think that's how we felt.
I would really try to take the suggestions.
I agree. We should all learn to try to control and overcome these negative emotions for us to be mindful on how we will feel or how others will feel if we aren't able to control it.
I definitely agree, and I think it's time for us to go home or else our parents will get worried.
True, think of accompaniment, Ellie.
Thank you, Eli. We got the chance to open up on how we feel and at the same time, we're already knowledgeable on how to overcome our negative emotions.
No worries, at least we've learned something from our little discussion. Let's try to control our negative emotions and let's start today. Bye guys! See you next time!